Okay. Hello. I think we're on the air. We're good. Okay. Hey, folks. Welcome. It's 8:05, a few minutes later than we knew it would go. And today is June 25th. We haven't been on in a couple of weeks because things have been warming up and getting really, really busy. My name is John Peasy. Welcome to Cool Crap We Love. I see there's several people out there. This is going to be a very strange night because Kathy is running. I'll let Walt come in and we'll explain it together. But anyway, welcome. This is Cool Crap We Love, episode number 44. We haven't seen you guys since before Father's Day. As a matter of fact, Father's Day, my daughter was here, and I said to her, "Do you think I'm a bad father?" And she said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Come on, Maria, do you think I'm a bad father?" And she goes, "Dad, my name is Dakota." Anyway, here's my partner in crime, Cool Crap, Walt Papaleo.
I saw that joke coming.
Because I threw it up on Facebook like on Father's Day. I was thinking about jokes. Hey,
you know how I knew it? I knew it when you said Maria, because I knew your brother's name was Dakota.
Yeah. Right.
So I know there he is. He's a really bad father. Yeah, we're back. It's just that, listen, this has nothing to do with me. This has all to do with Peasy and his schedule. So when Peasy's available.
Yeah, anyone that wears a shirt like that, we know you're a liar.
Listen, I've made a decision in my life that for the rest of my life, I'm wearing Hawaiian shirts every day.
And every woman in America has made a decision to look the other way.
Right. And now the only thing that can screw this up is if QAnon comes out and tells all Trump supporters to wear shirts, then I have to stop wearing Hawaiian shirts because I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist.
A conspiracy theorist.
The word conspiracy theorist or whatever.
Invented by the CIA in the 1960s. That's what I heard.
Yes, I did know that. Let me tell you something. I shared that we were going to have Kathy Garver on, and we're still she's running a little late, and we're hoping that she gets into it. I may have to duck out to go help her with it, but Kathy, I shared it out to a bunch of pages, and I didn't tell you this, but I shared it to some British 60s and 70s page, right?
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I shared it saying it was going to be on. I didn't know it was British, and then everybody started fighting me about. I put in the title, hey, when you were home from school and you were watching TV, you had channel 2, 4, 5, 7, 9, 11, and 13. And they're like, you've got that many channels? When we were growing up as kids, we had 2 channels, and the BBC didn't turn them on until 5 o'clock.
Wow. And we were thinking we were like the worst people in the world, only having several channels.
This is England.
9, 11 PIX and channel 13 PBS.
PBS, channel 9 was WOR.
WOR, ABC, NBC.
Channel 5 was nothing. It was just channel 5.
Yeah, there was no numbers
at the time. What?
I don't think there was any numbers for channel 5 back then. That was before it became W. What did it later
Fox.
on?
It's Fox.
Before Fox, what was it?
I don't think it had any WNEW, maybe?
Maybe so, out of New York, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. But let me just re-clarify this a few moments ago what you're saying, because I want people to understand in the middle of where we are right now, the position that you and I are in, just to make sure that we're not to take us off this hook, off the hook.
With Kathy Garver.
Yes, right. Because just to clarify, so the show starts at 8, and Kathy said she was coming in, and then before we started, normally people come in like 10 minutes early, and we make sure everything's okay and then they sit in a green room, kind of, if you will. However, tonight, she wasn't ready, and she said, "I'll be there. I'm just getting ready. I'll be there." So we decided to either wait and then everything organized, or just go on and then let her come in. Now the problem is, when she does come in the next several minutes, hopefully, I don't know if she's going to have a problem. And if she does, I produce the shows. Walt is actually, I'm producing it for Walt in a sense. So I'd have to stop and try to see. And I know that's the point. So I don't know if there's going to be any conflicts, because if she doesn't come in clean and there's conflicts, I don't know what we're supposed to do. That's the whole point. So I'm just taking us off this hook. I'm Otherwise, it'll be just me and you just laughing.
This might be a 25-minute show.
Well, it's never been a 25-minute show. Let's see.
Oh
if
man,
we
I'm
can-
gonna tell you something. I got new contact lenses today. I could see the comments now.
Really? Apparently they haven't worked against your shirt.
Oh no, Warriors. Why is John dressed like a sperm cell? Look at it. Okay.
I'm going to tell you why. My studio, right? It is about 48 degrees in here. Because
That's funny.
I'm in the bottom level, and up above there's two air conditioning units, and everything above stays like 70. You put it on 70, down here it turns to 50. I'm like freezing. I always wear like a sweat jacket or something. I'm like, I can't get warm. Then I'll go
And
upstairs.
I'm sweating over here, man. I'm actually thinking about adding sand to the floors of my basement. It's so hot down here.
Really? That bad?
Yeah, it'd be like a beach.
Wowza. Hey, so we haven't been here in a couple of weeks because things have been getting really heated up, right? Things are getting busy. I know things are getting busy for you too, aren't they?
Things are happening. Things are happening.
Okay.
All right. So listen. So we came up with the show because Kathy Garver, when I reached out to her, said that yes, she would love to do the show, and we're hoping that she still does the show. But the theme of the show that we came up with is when we were kids, we did everything we could to stay home from school.
What did you do when you made? What did you make? How did you make believe that you were sick when you were a kid? Because I had a couple of ways we did it.
I was like, I don't feel like it, Mom. You got to give this face. This right here. This is the face. If you do that, if you say, I don't really feel that good, you get, you do it.
Yeah. And your mom would come over, put her lips to your forehead.
Yeah, right. No, the cheek.
He's
to
a
the
little
forehead.
warm. He's a little warm.
He's warm. That's because you stay under the covers and you make yourself warm.
Do you remember there was a way that there was something you put under your arm that would rate because they used to have the thermometer.
Yeah.
They used to put under your arm. And there was something you used to put under your arm to make it really hot. This way, when you took the thermometer, it looked like you were at home for 100 fever.
Now, my mother used to put the thermometer in. Listen, my mother knew how to do it from just touching my head with her cheek. Oh yeah, you're warm.
And wasn't it the greatest thing to pull off that your mom, I'm sick, and then she gives you soup, or you hang out and you lay in bed, and you just watch television all day long, and you got over. And how many times you didn't want to go to school? That because you maybe played sick because you're going to get beat up, you're going to be in a fight. Or maybe because you didn't do your homework and you didn't want to go in and tell them you didn't do your homework because I'm stupid.
Well, I'm sure that's the story all ventriloquists tell, that they were going to go into school and get beat up. But no, I just didn't want to go because I didn't study for the test.
I see. Oh, by the way, just to let you know, I see Kathy Garver's coming in and she looks great. I'm waving to her. She could hear me and she's there and everything's good. So we're all good. There's no problems in reference to Kathy.
Good.
And she looks great.
So what we used to do is when you stayed home, we stayed home from school. The TV wasn't like cable where you can watch American Pickers and Ice Truckers. You couldn't watch all of that stuff. All you had was these shows that we're going to show you tonight, and one of them is Family Affair, where Kathy Garver played Cissy Davis. Let's bring up a couple shows that we
quick show. Yeah, before we bring on
before we bring up Kathy.
So a couple of the shows, and I've watched many of these shows. You gave me a list of a few, and I added a couple of my own. I added this one in myself. I was a very big fan of this particular show.
I had that one, The Courtship of Eddie's Father. I gave you that one, and that was Bill Bixby, right? Bill Bixby was the father. He was a single dad of Eddie. I think their last name was, well, was it? What was it? I don't remember their last name. Do you remember their last name?
No.
I know I
remember people keep telling me about my best friend. Da, 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 da,
right.
Da, da, da. Yeah.
That one. That was a great song.
Yeah.
But if I'm not mistaken, the girl who took care of Eddie when Dad was working, her name was Mrs. Livingston.
And she was an Asian woman?
I think she was Asian. Can we say Asian? We can say Asian now, right?
Absolutely right. That's absolutely right. It was Asian woman. Yeah, you're absolutely
Mrs. Livingston.
Yeah.
So all of those shows always had a butler or something.
Hot water bottle, baby. That's right. The hot water bottle. That's what made you get hot. I forgot about that.
Yeah, right. You put the hot water bottle under your arm. I didn't have a hot water bottle, but you didn't have to. All you had to do was make your head. You just hold it a little bit. It became warm, and then Mom came in and checked it out. The thermometer never came out. She trusted us.
How about this show?
this was one of those shows. Again, you only had like 4 or 5 channels that something was on, so you had to watch Hazel, and she was a maid for a family. I don't even I remember the show.
I remember I did watch a couple. I do remember as a kid, she had this strong character, like a Brooklyn nasally kind of like, yeah, I'll be there to help you out, Mr. So-and-so. And I never was a big fan of that particular show.
Me either, but I remember her name was Shirley Booth.
That's correct. And this one I put in that you didn't put in. Here you go.
I put that in too.
Did you really? So we're thinking in the same way.
The Price is Right came on 11 o'clock every day.
We're not thinking the same way. I would never wear that shirt.
And I went just like a sperm cell.
There you go. Touche.
But yes, The Price is Right. You would do it. And that was way before Drew Carey.
You have a vagina shirt on. What are you talking about? No, you're right.
You remember The Price is Right, the game on that show. I always used to look forward to it when they would give the car away and you had to guess the numbers that were in the price of the car. Yes. So when they first started, everybody would guess a 3 and the whole crowd would go, yeah, 3. And then it was 3,000 something. That's how much a car cost back then. $3,000.
There was a German guy that used to go dunk 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 and move down up and down.
Yeah. That was something Kaplunk. Was that Kaplunk?
I don't remember. It was wonderful. It had this little German music. I remember thinking that was like a hilarious little thing. But
when he fell off the cliff, you were done. You lost.
You know what fascinated me about that show was that he had the only microphone in the world that was a stick that was like 3 feet long that he used to hold.
Actually, he didn't. If you remember, Gene Rayburn had that same stick.
I didn't like the stick microphone.
On Match Game, yeah.
Kind of freaky. Here's one that I used to watch too. I don't think you gave me. Did you give me this?
No, I didn't give you that one.
I watched that a lot.
$20,000 pyramid, or was it $10,000 pyramid back when we watched it?
It kept going up, $50,000 period, $100,000 period. But it was a good show.
Yeah, that was a great show. That was a great show. But it would get you so aggravated because they were giving clues, and either the guy wasn't getting the answers on the quick one at the end, or the guy giving the clues sucked at it.
Yeah.
So it was like Jamie Farr, who thought it was a joke, you know.
You gave me this.
Trying to win 10 grand. That I gave you. I used to watch that all the time. The Joke is Wild.
I never watched.
You never did. Jack Barry. Jack Barry. Yeah.
This show you gave me.
My Three Sons.
Yeah, I did watch that.
Yeah, that was Fred McMurray and who was the guy from Lost in Space that was on that? Is that Ray Walston? Who was that? Uncle Charlie or something, wasn't he?
I don't believe so.
To the left of McMurray.
Well, it depends on how I'm looking at it.
Well, if you're looking at it,
I don't think any of the people.
The guy with the only jacket that doesn't match the other ones.
That was Uncle Charlie, but I don't remember him being in Lost in Space at all.
I thought that was him. No, that's not him. That is not him. You're right.
Yeah. You gave me this one too.
Leave It to Beaver.
Great show. Fantastic.
Yeah, Jane Austen.
You know what?
I don't remember a lot of it.
You know what? And here's another great one.
That I used to love.
Yeah, we had Butch Patrick on, who was a really great guy.
Well, you had Butch Patrick on. I didn't have Butch Patrick.
Oh, that's right. I interviewed. Yeah, he was really nice. We could bring him on. I'll ask him to come on. And you also put. Here's another one of My Three Sons.
Well, that was My Three Sons. Yeah,
great.
And you know, the foot tapping.
You're starting to sound like Hazel. And then, then also, fantastic show.
Let me tell you something. I loved this show.
So did I.
I did. I loved everything about her. I got to be honest. I probably would have asked, if I was Major Nelson, I would have asked her to do a couple other things that only a genie could do.
Mm-hmm.
But
I don't know where you're going with that, but okay.
but it was awesome that she had a bad sister, and it was just Barbara Eden playing the same part with the same name, Jeannie, with black hair on and like an aqua color costume, like the water in back of you. And
the competitor of that show was what?
The one you're going to bring up that I gave you, Bewitched, right?
That's
Bewitched. Right. Yeah, there was so who was that? Agnes Moorehead.
Yes.
And that was Dick. That was Dick
York. Dick York.
No, was that York?
I think it was Dick York. Yeah.
Who was the other one?
The previous Reed. Was it Reed?
Sargent. Sargent. That was
Dick Sargent. Yeah.
That's Dick Sargent. The other one was Dick York.
Dick York. Okay.
And
Yeah,
their last name was
and
Stephen.
it's funny because I had just read some information about both of these shows, and I Dream of Jeannie. Apparently, they used to pit him against one another. When she asked him to marry her, he asked him to marry her. That was not. They wrote that in because they wanted to grow the show because it was falling, and they thought this would be the greatest thing. And people were really upset about Jeannie marrying Major
Tony Nelson.
Yeah, when they wrote that into the script. And meanwhile, I was watching these shows back in the day, and they also said that she, who was married 3 times and had this really weird relationship, she married a producer who was handling her. And this, by the way, we could do a whole show on either of those. And there's a guy
Barbara Eden was married to Michael Ansara. Michael Ansara was the blue gin. You remember the genie? The bad genie wanted to take her back, and Tony Nelson got him to go into the vacuum cleaner because he told them there was treasure in there. And he went into the vacuum cleaner, and Tony plugged it up and threw it into the ocean.
Yes, I do remember that. Yes,
that was Jeannie's husband. That was Michael Ansara.
We got to do a show. We got to do a whole show just on that and the other. Those 2 shows. They're
I mean, and that was. And you brought up the one where she got married. And if you remember the show where she got married, they found out that genies aren't photographic. They can't take pictures. So she had like a mannequin that looked like her in the genie costume, walking down like a robot.
It's funny you bring up that. You remember the crazy thing. That's true. I do. Now you're saying it's all coming back. Hey, just one other thing I used to watch when I was a kid, sick in bed, and that was, and not a lot of people watch this as much as I was a big fan of this show. What is it?
Oh, that's Beat the Clock.
Very good. And who's the host?
That was Jack Norris.
Oh my God!
Dude, I used to watch that all the time.
That's
Gene Wood actually was the host of that too.
Yeah, there was many hosts. It actually kind of grew over the years. And I was a kid, and my mom had taken me to the studios, and we watched a live taping of Beat the Clock. And I got to go after the show and meet. They asked me to actually during the thing. You volunteered. I came on stage, and I'll never forget. I was like a little kid. I was like 7 years old. I go on stage, and I don't remember what I had to do, but I remember when Jack Nars he had another one with a long microphone.
Yeah,
he came over and asked me my name or whatever, and it was in between commercials. I remember seeing his makeup. I remember his makeup was orange, like an Oompa Loompa, because television was a little different. Yeah, it was like pancake orange.
Yeah,
you could scrape it off with a knife and put it on toast. It was so thick. And I remember looking at him going, oh my, like thinking it was like the craziest thing. And I remember asking my mom, and she was like, well, when you're on television, the black and white, the color, you need to do all these things. And it was interesting.
We can ask Kathy about that. I'm sure they put makeup all over her.
I'm sure she, and she doesn't need it now. She looks I'm looking at her right now below in the green room. She does look great. She really does look great. Let's bring her on because we've wasted enough time with unimportant
talking about stupid stuff. Right? Nobody cares.
So now this is interesting too because her name is Kathleen Marie Garver, and she's an American stage, film, television, and voiceover actress. By the way, that's what I want to ask her about because she did voiceovers for some cartoons, which is terrific.
Oh, great.
And we all love that. And she's also most remembered for having portrayed the teenage orphan Catherine Cissy Davis on the popular 1960 CBS sitcom Family Affair. And before that, a lot of people don't know she was cast by Cecil B. DeMille in the film The 10 Commandments in 1956.
Did not know that.
She later provided the voice for Firestar in the animated television series Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. And Garver also authored the Family Affair Cookbook in 2009 and Surviving Cissy, My Family Affair of Life in Hollywood in 2015, and also Ex-Child Stars, Where Are They Now in 2016. This woman has been really busy. She's always busy.
Right.
So let's bring her right on here. We'd like to welcome the beautiful Kathy Garver.
Hello there. How are you? I'd wear your shirt. That kind of looks like mine. I think that's that's pretty nice. I like the colors and everything. Not bad, Walt.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm so wrong.
Women absolutely look beautiful. And now you have answered the age-old question of Marianne or Ginger, and I say Kathy Garver.
That's
thank you very much. I will take that.
She'll take it. And she'll take it from a guy inside that shirt.
Now, Kathy, Kathy was on Family Affair, which everybody watched. Brian Keith, my brother Brian, is on the show. He's watching right now, and his name is Brian Keith Popelo, and my mother loved Brian Keith and named my brother after Brian Keith.
That's a wonderful homage, as they say. Yes, Brian Keith was a wonderful actor, and I hate to say this, but it is the 55th anniversary of Family Affair this year. And I know you guys can't believe that because you know I'm 39, right?
I was going for 37, but 39 is a little older than I thought.
Yeah. Well, I got very upset. I was hurrying to get to this show on time. And I'm leaving for Houston tomorrow to finish up a role I'm doing in Old Man Jackson. But I wanted to get those little bottles of white wine. And so I take them in my suitcase and then I have one at night. So, and I needed a couple other things. So I'm at the Rite Aid. And so I'm buying my things. And he said, I'd like to see your ID. I said, excuse me? Do I really look like I'm not 21? And then we have to ask it. And I have a mask on anyway. So they're just seeing these eyes. And I was so insulted. How dare you ask a woman over 40 for her date of birth in front of all these people.
Right.
Anyway, I left that there and went down to Pavilions and bought my wine. That's my little rebellion.
That's what I do. When I get ID'd, I go like this. There you go. There it is. There's your ID.
I know it's like following what you have to do to the letter T without looking at any common sense. And that's what's wrong with the world today, John and Walt. But seriously, you can't be too down the line or you forget what humanity is and who we are.
Yeah,
I have a feeling we politically would believe the same way Kathy believes right now, but we're not going there. I
think that's a wise choice. That's a wise choice.
But Kathy, come on, she's had such a long career. Do you really care what people think at this point? You have a really long career.
Get away with anything. Get away with anything right now. I'm turning into my father.
I'm old, and so I can say wherever I want. We just are having the air conditioning fixed, and he said, "Now don't charge us too much. We're old folk." And he says, now, you may be older, but you're not old folk. And I said, okay, still don't charge us more.
Now, Family Affair was one of the shows we watched when we stayed home.
A lot.
All the time. I know it was, you didn't have that much to watch, but like we just brought up that Brian Keith is no longer with us. Sebastian Cabot, who was Mr. French, is no longer with us. Buffy is no longer with us. Right? What was her name?
Anissa Jones.
Right, Anissa Jones. And Johnny Whitaker is still with us.
He's hanging on by an edge.
He's hanging on. Now, I did a little research on this. And do you know, John, and this is a question for John, and I don't even know if you know this. What does Kathy Garver and Johnny Whitaker have in common besides Family Affair?
I know the answer to that. Okay, John, this is a toughie. He's not going to get this.
I don't know.
What is it?
How old
do
you think Johnny is?
Johnny's probably about 58 or so, 56, 58.
60?
Yeah. What month do you think he could have been born in?
December?
Yes, you're right. Ta-da! We'll ring the bell for Walt.
Yeah, but you were born on December 13th, and so is he.
That's
your
correct.
Same exact birthday.
That's correct. And that's what he was trying to get you to say, I think, John. I'm just giving you hints along the way.
Because I was trying to find one of the 5 of them who had a birthday that was mine, maybe just luckily or right around it. And then I went, wait a minute. Her birthday's the 13th. I wonder if they even know that.
Oh, yes.
And it was December 13th, the same birthday.
When's your birthday?
November 21st.
Well, you're almost a Sagittarian. Sagittarius,
I'm Scorpio.
Star sign. Huh?
Right, I'm on the Scorpio cusp.
Yes. What's yours, John?
May 8th.
May 8th. My mom's May 19th. We're not asking years though, as we are having this interesting discussion.
I have nothing to hide. We're all good. It doesn't really matter. Hey, let me ask you this though. I was looking up all your information, which I didn't know about. Just like he was just mentioning a moment ago about. I didn't know about the birthday thing. That took me for a good loop. That's great. But more importantly. I know you did a lot of voiceovers in cartoons. How did that happen? And when did that start? And does it still continue? Because you do have a nice speaking voice, and I'm sure
Well,
you
thank
can
you.
put it
Thank
out.
you very much.
Very animated. Very
Yeah,
animated.
yes,
Right.
that's why I do so many cartoons. People think I am a cartoon, but I'm not. Once upon a time in Hollywood, I had a commercial agent, Don Schwartz, who was like one of the top commercial agents. And he says, "Oh, we have an interview for you for a voiceover." And I said, "What's that?" And he says, "Well, you do a voiceover." I said, "I've never done this." And he said, "Just go on. This is for Star-Kissed Tuna." I said, "Okay." So I go in there having no idea what a voiceover is. And he gives me the script. I know what scripts are. And so I read it. And he said, "Okay, that's fine. Now I want you to say, I like starfish tuna in a different way." A different way? Oh, yeah, give us another different voice. Oh, okay. "I like starfish tuna." And he says, "That's really awful." And I said,
Yeah.
well, thank you. I mean, he says, "No, a different voice." And I said, "I like starfish tuna." Well, I could do that now, but I couldn't do it then. And I said, "I don't have any more voices." I was very disappointed. And I went and I signed up for voiceover classes. And I found out that a voiceover is just a voice over anything that you don't see. "Hi, this is my voice. I'm talking with John and Walt." Okay, well, who is that? Who
I
had
thought
that
it was
nice
the chair.
voice?
I thought it was the chair.
Hey,
I taught voiceover for 20 years, actually, in San Francisco, voiceover and audiobook narration. And I would have my students, take on the physiognomy of like a chair. "I'm a chair." And I said, "I'm a pencil." And you take on the actual body figurations of an inanimate object and you animate them, which means bring to life. So
right. So much. Kathy has so much. She's phonetic energy. I just love it. Kathy, what is Walt's shirt yelling? Shut the light.
It says, "Oh, get me out of this tropical paradise before I melt." That's what his shirt's saying.
I don't know if see, I like the shirt. I thought
I love the shirt. I love the shirt. I think it's
I've given up on regular shirts. It's all Hawaiian from now on.
Yeah, I like it. Well,
And I like that too.
When you start, doing the hula dance, you may think twice about it, but then again, you can charge money on Zoom and see what gets you.
I just got taken down by Cissy Davis.
You're taken down.
No, I'm lifting you up. I'm inspiring you. I'm giving you another source of income here.
Kathy, what Mrs. Beasley?
Talk to Mrs. Beasley.
Oh,
let me tell you that doll still
Mrs.
lives.
Beasley, I love you. Actually, I talked to Ashton Drake, who are still selling like about 150,000 of these Mrs. Beasleys a year. Wow. And we have a project at Warner Brothers, and it's called Our Family Affair Universe. And one of the 8-episode novellas that they're doing these days will be all about Mrs. Beasley and the origin of the real Mrs. Beasley. And when I was talking to this lady on the phone today, and I was saying, "Well, could I have a couple for my charities?" And she said, "Oh, yes." She says, "Do you know Mrs. Beasley is just one of our top-selling dolls?" So, wow. She hangs around. I wonder if anyone has asked her for her ID.
I read that she didn't have glasses on in the very beginning, and then they put glasses on her. Those square glasses.
Yeah, in the pilot, she did not have glasses. Yeah. You are right. And I didn't see that because I do wear glasses and I didn't have them on then nor now. But that was a very astute observation. But now she comes with glasses, and there's even a little cottage industry. So if you have lost Mrs. Beasley's glasses, you can go on and say Mrs. Beasley's glasses, and they'll take you to people that can outfit her with glasses. Isn't that something to know?
And you can get anything on Amazon. Just go in Amazon, put Mrs. Beasley glasses, and you got them. You got them tomorrow.
Google is better. Google is better than Amazon. But aren't they owned by the same people? I don't know.
I think
one person owns everything.
Yeah, I think Kathy has some stock in Google.
It sounds like it.
No, actually, I just did a commercial for GoodRx. And I think one of the reasons that I got this interview is because, have you ever used GoodRx?
I did once.
Yes.
Well, I went and I went to this one drugstore and I was getting my medicine. She said, that'll be $80. I said, $80? I said, it's usually only 10 because Screen Actors Guild, this is an aside, Screen Actors Guild threw all of us under the bus, Screen Actors Guild AFTRA with our Blue Cross. And starting in January, after I have had this insurance for 50 years, hello, I am.
How did that happen? You're 39.
I know it. It's the magic of Hollywood. And so they gave us this new insurance. So we had this new insurance and she charges $80. I said, well, this is ridiculous. So I went to a different pharmacy and they said, have you tried GoodRx? And I said, no. He says, you can have this coupon. And I actually went online first and I saw that the same prescription was only $10 at Ralph's. They have a pharmacy now. I'm just going to, you can bleed out these names that I'm saying. Otherwise, they need to pay me $100 million for every time I say their name. Anyway, so I know I get this, and it is only $10. And I said, this is great. This is so wonderful. So, I do this audition for GoodRx, and I said, well, and I must tell you the story. I told them the story, and it was only $10. And they said, that was great. So they cast me, and we're in this elevator and they say, well, do it the same way you did it then. I said, I wasn't in an elevator then. But the story, why I'm telling this is because I bought GoodRx stock. And I thought, okay, this is a good thing. This was a good omen. And I must say it's gone up 9 points, in a month and a half.
But how is it that RX is able to give it such a discount? I bought some medicine once on RX and it was like versus $400 versus like $80. Like, how does that work?
Because that's how much it really costs.
Well, if that's the case, we need to go out and kill all the people that charges us 10 times the amount.
We're not supposed to be politic, John.
So
you're right.
That we will cut out. That we will cut out.
Yes.
Now, Kathy, when did you get into acting? How young were you when you got into acting? Because when I was watching you, you were a hot teenager with a beehive hairdo.
I was 3. And so you probably wouldn't have thought I was too hot then. But I was at the Meglin Studios, and that was where they discovered Shirley Temple. And so, of course, every mother in Hollywood thought their child was going to be the next Shirley Temple, but I'm not. But I'm Kathy Garver. I kind of like her. So I started singing and dancing. And then the first real thing that I got paid for was The Night of the Hunter. Have you seen this film? This was with Robert Mitchum and Shelley Winters and Lillian Gish, Peter Graves. It was a wonderful movie, and it was directed by Charles Laughton, the first time he had ever directed a film. And it was totally panned. And it was panned so badly that he never directed another thing. It is now one of the top 50 horror films ever made, because it was so ahead of its time, and it was really haunting and eerie. And there was this creepy preacher that had LOVE and HATE written on his knuckles, and that they would fight and who would win. I unfortunately showed that to my son when he was like 8. And I said, how'd you like that? And he says, oh, I really liked it, Mom. LOVE, HATE. Of course, this preacher was a killer and a murderer, but that was probably the wrong decision that I made as a mom.
Did he put it on with pen, or did he have it tattooed on?
No, they didn't have tattoos then. It was just, I actually, I've never had that question. Probably a very, a black pen or charcoal even. This was a long time ago. And I did the 10 Commandments. I went from horror to God, did that one, and then did all kinds of shows. And did radio and TV and film. Then I took a vacation from about when I was 15 to 18, and then came back into the world when I started UCLA and started doing more shows, and went on the interview for Family Affair and got it. And here I am. The rest
now, that was 138 episodes. Am I correct? And out of all those episodes that you did, you had a lot of very famous actors throughout the years. I guess they did cameos or special appearances on the show. I was looking up some of the people. There was Betty Lynn from the Andy Griffith Show. who used to play Thelma Lou, I think it was.
That's
And
that's a famous
Jackie
person.
Coogan, Jamie Farr, Clint Howard. I mean, Eve Plum played that girl who was terminally ill, which I watched that episode. It's almost so sad to watch.
Yeah, that's a real sad one.
You know who Eve Plum is?
Yes.
Eve Plum, yeah.
Jan Brady.
Yeah, Jan
Right.
Brady. She went on to be to Jan Brady.
Marsha.
Yes, yeah. And then they had Susan Olsen, and the story of that is we had done 5 years, and so CBS was going to be more real and not so fantasy and idealistic. And so they're going to ABC. But then ABC had just been presented a new show with more kids, younger kids, and a cute little thing with little ponytails that had a lovely doll that looked a lot like Mrs. Beasley.
Look at that, huh?
Yeah,
That's
so they
Brady
took that
Bunch?
show. Yes.
What was-
But
what
you know,
was-
it's
what was
interesting you talking about the guest stars, because I have 3 new books coming out this year, and one of them is a family affair scrapbook. And I just finished writing the whole chapter on our guest stars, and we did have some really. Robert Reed was even one of our guest stars, and Dan Duryea, son Peter Duryea, who I really liked a lot. He was very cute. And then my next one I'm doing are the children that made appearances that grew up to be like Eve Plum and Lisa Gerritsen and Pamela Furden. So we had, you know this. We were like changing from the movies to the little black box, and so the people that had made fabulous movies, like our creator Ed Hartman, that had worked with Bob Hope and Lucille Ball, did seven of their films, and Charlie Barton, who was our director, that had done The Shaggy Dog for Disney and like 8 Abbott and Costello films. So we had these incredibly talented, creative people that were used to film, and Family Affair was filmed. It wasn't in tape. And it wasn't in that awful HD that you can see every single bad thing on your face. It was in film. And so that, coupled with the idea, we have I got to stop talking. You know what?
No, we keep go on.
No. You keep.
That's why you're here.
Okay.
Nobody cares what we're saying.
A prequel sequel for Family Affair that we're working on now. I'm working with the grandson of Ed Hartman, and he was like the president of WGA and an incredibly good writer. He says, but what is the essence of, making the show? And he says it's a very classic thing. He says, unfortunately, there are too many manufactured things that obfuscate the general idea of the story. All the story is it's like climbing a tree. You start out at the bottom of the tree. How you're going to get to the top. So you're inching your way all the way up to the top. You're at the top of the tree. You look around, you see the solution, and you slide down. It's very simple. We did that every episode. We started out with a problem. We tried to figure out how to solve the problem. Yeah, sure. And then we had the denouement, maybe a little moral there at the end. Okay.
Kathy, was there ever any talk about a movie being made? Like the Little Rascals, they made a movie, and Bewitched made a movie. And was ever a family affair movie talked about?
Not a movie per se, but there was a remake. In, I forget, maybe 2009. That was just awful. And Tim Curry played Mr. French, so you can go from there. Gary Cole was Brian Keith. I really personally don't think that remakes work as well as
agreed
sequels with the same people. So our idea is like what they are doing now. I think I mentioned it briefly, having a Family Affair universe where the first 8 episodes is Aunt Cissy, and the second 8 episodes will be about Mrs. Beasley, and the third 8 episodes will be how did Mr. French and Uncle Bill get together. So it really is an amalgam of the history and the comfort and the warmth of the original put into a formula, that is new and that people will adhere to. That's
funny. You said Gary Cole was going to play was going to play Bill.
He did play Bill for 9 episodes.
Yeah, didn't he also play Mike Brady in the remakes of the Brady Bunch?
Oh, in the remake.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's a good trivia thing. You know, this is cool crap.
Gary, this is the stupid stuff I remember in my head.
But, you know, I was just thinking, that's what binds people together. As I was listening to you at the beginning, oh, do you remember that was Hazel? And there's, you know, My Three Sons. And when you do that, it triggers something in the brain. And you say, I remember that, you know, and it bonds people.
Yeah.
And even people that have like Alzheimer's disease, when they hear like a familiar melody, they perk up, and instead of staring out, it triggers something. So this was a good idea to have cool crap.
Yeah,
I don't know if it was I don't know if it's the right name, because I think it negates people from coming in. They start thinking, oh, what is this we're going into?
Just so everybody knows, I came up with the idea. He came up with the name.
Yeah, but I was trying to be funny. I didn't think it was going to be like people are like, I'm not going to do it now because it's crap.
45 episodes later.
No, but I think that they get it. I must say, because I'm on Facebook. Everyone can go to my Facebook page, Kathy Garver /
and she answers. She answers you.
And I get all these. I got a lot of likes because it's fun. And the cartoon, you know, with you guys, I think that's great. Of course,
that was fun.
You know, you're right though. This trigger of reminiscing. When I think about when I've watched the show that you were on many times and I was a young kid. I remember watching this all the time. You know, one of the things that really stuck in my mind though, and I saw somebody write a tweet across this when I was looking this up. It said something about that show, Family Affair, had it was a comedy because it had a laugh track where they would laugh, but they also had a sadness that went across of it in a sense. And I thought of thinking about that. There was a lot of serious moments in the show. So there's a lot of fun things. And I'm also noticing that back then, it seems like all the sitcoms American sitcoms were directing families on how to behave as good human beings. And if you look at your show and My Three Sons and the Courtship of Eddie's Father and everything, you know, I watched the first episode that they shot the other day of yours. And the first episode, you came home and all of a sudden you weren't feeling, things weren't going well. There was a dance going on, and all of a sudden you felt weird because you didn't have any parents. And you know, he comes home from work and says, "I better cancel my date. I need to find out. You know, my daughter's having some issues." And it's that good old family kind of behavior that today seems to be out the window with the Kardashians.
Now,
you know, it seems like we were instilling a really good thing. Do you think that's lacking in America today? And do you think America was better then than it is now?
Well, I think that people harken back to these shows and they want a touch of comfort and nostalgia. And if that's better, if it's not, I mean, things evolve. And I think that the family is very important. I think that perhaps people, and CBS was saying, well, you know, this is too idealized, and it may have gone in your direction, saying, well, we're telling you how to behave. But I think, you know, sometimes is culture a reflection of art, or does art create culture? You know, in which way are you going to go? I think presently they're canceling a lot more culture than there ever was culture.
We have to talk to her off air.
Off the air.
Off air, we're going to talk to you.
We'll be joining the Kathy Garver fan club for what? Republicans or Democrats? Which one are we going to?
Well, I got frozen one time on Facebook. I was doing an interview with a friend of mine, Stevie DePen, and this was right before everyone was in the throes of defund the police. Well, I happen to live in Bell Canyon, in Bell Canyon, California. And this is also peopled by Mickey Dolenz on the Monkees and Alyssa Milano, who kind of lives around some curves.
Okay.
Well, she's such an activist. And I better not say this because I got frozen for saying this on Stevie DePen's interview. And I said, well, I'm so sorry that I said I was just telling you the truth, Stevie. But they, you know, some big brother over there monitors what we say. And
Oh,
here's
yeah.
a sweet, nice old lady that gets ID'd, is just, saying what she thinks, and is really a very nice person.
How's the
Unless-
pandemic going on now in California? Is everything calming down? Everything? I know. They actually just said that Newsom, they got enough signatures to actually get rid of Newsom. But are all the masks off now and everything's open? Everything's okay or no?
No.
No.
Like I wore my mask every place I went today inside, to the drugstore, and you can now in like some of the grocery stores. It's your choice.
Okay.
So you can wear a mask or not wear a mask. So they're starting to come off, and certainly now. Well, I just had a thought that I was going to Houston. They haven't worn masks in a long time, but to film something. But when I filmed, like I've done like about 3 or 4 different commercials in this last couple months, and everybody was masked until we took them off. I think it was, in my personal opinion, was not such a hot idea for some of the shows that were shot during the pandemic to be wearing their masks.
Yeah, they were.
To do this commercial with their mask, because it so puts them into a time tunnel that
They were wearing the masks. It was crazy. The you go to Houston with a mask on now, they shoot it right off of you.
You think the masks are rust? Think about those poor porno guys.
Now, listen, I got to ask
people shoot porn.
I got to ask you this. We could talk about masks and we talk about Alyssa Milano, but everybody wants to know, when you were on that show, you were this hot young girl, chickie. Every guy was just thinking about. Did you have any famous guys that you dated while you were doing this show?
Not really. I mean,
No?
Clint Ritchie. I loved Clint Ritchie. This is all in my book. My Surviving Sissy book is coming back in paperback this year because it was such a big seller when I first brought it out as a hardcover in 2015. There was my ring light.
Wow.
So I have Surviving Sissy that's coming out in paperback, and then my Family Affair pictorial scrapbook. And then I have another book that this is just a mock-up of it because it's not done yet. TV dinners. TV. Is it upside down?
Yes, upside down. Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
There you go.
TV dinners. This is just a mock-up. TV dinners, TV cookbook. This goes along with a show. We just actually sold a show to Retro TV called Untitled Chapter. And this is similar to it, only this has food. Remember those trays with all the corn and the meatloaf and the mashed potatoes?
Yeah, that was a TV dinner.
So much energy. Let me ask you a question, Walt. Do you think she's a vegetarian?
I don't. Yeah. You
That's what I
probably are a vegetarian.
No.
No, you
However,
like me?
my 30-year-old son and his 30-year-old wife-to-be, my son never left home. He just brought people into the house. Anyway, they are vegetarians.
With a mask.
No, they do not like masks.
Good for them.
No, they don't like masks, and they're a little bit conservative. They have their own business. They have dog walking, dog sitting, dog training, making dog products here.
And Kathy, you were a mom late in life. You had children at 45. Am I correct?
Now we all know how old I am.
No, I'm just I said you had
We had people buying into the 39-year-old. Thanks, John.
Oh, that's right. She's 39.
What's wrong with all you people? Don't I look 39?
I'm gonna get totally off that. How much do you weigh? Let's go that direction.
Oh, you're just a woman's
that's terrible. That's terrible. That's an old joke, by the way. That's a very old joke for comedian.
Let's not talk about your age. Let's talk about your weight. That's hilarious.
What religion are you?
Right?
What do you do?
Right? Hey, how about this one? Who did you vote for in your last election? Right? You just ask that and get it over with.
But I'm just saying that she has a great phonetic energy. I could see
Oh
that
my
you.
God.
Yeah, your
That
phonetic
comes from
energy.
meat and potatoes, John. That doesn't come from soybeans and asparagus.
You're old school. I like it.
I'm
Old
eating
school.
potatoes and I don't have that much energy. I literally, just before I got on the show, I had roast beef, hot open roast beef with mashed potatoes and gravy. And I don't have
that
that
would make
going
a
on.
great TV dinner. See, that's a
Yeah,
good
that's
dinner.
awesome, man.
That's another thing I missed from the back in those days. They had great TV dinners back. The old Swanson TV dinners we used to
Yeah,
have.
now nothing.
I just had tonight for dinner 12 chicken wings that are the Korean chicken wings.
Did you
I
have any
know.
vegetables to go with it?
No, no, I'm
What's a
just like a
vegetable?
meat guy, just kind of meat guy. Is it?
Well, yeah. Well, one of the things that we're doing on TV dinners is taking the like meatloaf and mashed potatoes and having the mashed potatoes be cauliflower and
Nice.
the meatloaf have more vegetables in it.
I actually like.
Well, you can
Walt,
still have the original recipe.
if you've
Cissy,
ever
you're
had,
ruining my image in my head.
no, if you've ever actually had cauliflower mashed potato, it's really good. It's
I'm not
really,
doing
really good.
You
I'm
want to know
serious.
what's good? You want to know what's good? I'm going to give my mother's recipe away for mashed potatoes, and I swear to God, you'll be the envy of every party
I
you
love
bring
the
up.
way you say potato. It's not potatoes. It's potatoes.
Potatoes.
And
Potatoes.
cauliflower?
No cauliflower. We're done with that.
No cauliflower.
You
What
take
is-
the mashed potatoes, you put butter in it, you put salt in it, and the secret ingredient is mayonnaise. You put mayonnaise in there, a tablespoon of mayonnaise, and I'm telling you, your friends are going to say, "Where did you get these?" And then you're going to have to mention my name.
Okay. Well, what about your mom?
You can mention my mom's name,
Mention
Barbara.
her name, because I mean that's where you actually got the recipe, right?
I did. You can mention Barbara, but they're not going to know because I'm all famous and stuff on this show.
Well, yeah, I like this idea. I've never had mashed potatoes with mayonnaise.
Maybe
Sour
Kathy,
cream.
I'm telling you, try it.
there you go. Put it in your book.
Ah.
Whoa! My mom
Yeah.
killed me.
We don't want that.
Since we're getting silly, then I'm going to tell you. When I was a kid, my mom used to make what she used to call German. I think it was called German. It was called German. I don't know what the name of it. It was mashed potatoes, a big bowl of the old silver heavy-duty metal pot, tons of mashed potatoes, cut up knockwurst and sauerkraut, all mixed in and cooked. And it was like knockwurst, potatoes, and sauerkraut. And it was like you ate it like a soup almost, kind of heavy, like a chunky. I don't know. It was called German mashed potatoes. Now,
See,
I know
those
your book
things
give me
are
looks like what is
comfort food, and sometimes you get these like kale, or old grains, and it's just not as comforting as having a big bite of buttery mayonnaise laden
Do you eat kale?
potato.
you eat kale?
I cannot eat kale.
You can't.
Say that one more time.
Kale.
I mean, it looks like you're wearing kale, but can you
I
eat
know,
it?
but this is tropical. I'm matching you, Walt.
I
Just
love
different
it.
colors.
I love it.
Yeah,
and I
you guys
can walk
look-
down-
You wear, you project something. Maybe I'll be going to Hawaii soon.
You and I can walk down the block and everybody be saying to what's that guy doing with that arm candy?
He might be saying that guy needs a dimmer switch on his shirt. Hey, let me ask you this though. This is interesting too, because what are you doing now? You've had such a. By the way, there's two things. First, the first very thing you did was the first film that you were in with DeMille Picture. That's unbelievable because you're in one of the most classic movies in movie history. That's exciting.
I got to go back and watch that. Ten
Yeah.
Commandments, right?
10 Commandments.
Well,
It's been kind of nice because in my career, I look back and I've really done classic things. I guess because I'm so old, everything becomes classic. But the 10 Commandments is, that's shown every Easter. Night of the Hunter became a classic horror film. Family Affair is a classic, sitcom from the 60s. Of course, we only had 3 channels then. Everybody had to watch us. But that was very, very classic. And hopefully my books will be classic. And what have I done from there? I have recorded over 80 audiobooks and have won 4 Audie Awards.
Wow.
That's
What are you doing now though? Like, what are you doing now? Because I know you said you're flying to Tech. What's going on now in your life?
I'm going to Houston to finish a movie called Old Man Jackson, and I play Mrs. Jackson, and it's a comedy, very, very funny, and it's written by this great guy, Johnny Ray Gibbs, who is also our director. And then the next weekend, this is actually kind of funny. I'm going to be the spokesperson for this theme park called Silverwood in Idaho. Now, I did a Zoom audition to get this job, and I pretended that I was on a horse, and I threw my leg over the horse and says, "Hi, I'm Silver Wanda, and welcome to Silverwood," and did this whole thing. Well, I got this job, and now they want me to ride the horse. So I have ridden a horse, and I did like Westerns in the 50s, and I did Death Valley days and Big Valley and things. So I'm going to get a little brush up at the Silver Lining Ranch. And I think that's good because my name is Silver Wanda as a spokesperson. So I'm doing that commercial. I did a commercial for eBay that's going to be out where I play this hot grandma that's selling sneakers online. And then I'm in the Good RX commercial where I was so moved by the product. And then I did a commercial for Care smartwatch and for old folks. And if they fall down, and I can't get up, it isn't life alert, but it's cool because it's a smartwatch.
She's on fire. The lady's on fire. She's like all over. She's like all over. You're full of energy. You're on fire, doing all these different things. Let me tell you, you have to look back and say, what a career. Thank God. You should think about it from the beginning to right now, and you're still out there pumping it away. That is some career. Most people, it's like a one-trick pony. You're in, you're out, and it's over, and then they never recover from it. You just constantly always taking the ride up and down, all the way along. That's something to be really proud of, and also look back and also be happy about. I mean, most people don't have that. They really don't, especially in this business. They get destroyed.
Yeah.
Well, I like God. I think that she helps out a lot.
There's politics again.
It's the power of perseverance. That seems apolitical enough. And I just have an energy, and I have to be doing something. Maybe a Type A personality, but in my book, I explain why. You're an actress and you don't have a TV show. Then what do? It so happened I went to Israel. I'm Catholic. See? But I learned Hebrew for my part. Ani Habat Harishona was a musical. And while I was there, I went over to London and went to the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art. It helps out that I've not ever taken drugs except for wine.
Me either.
Which I drink here after the show. My husband gives me one every night. No. But I've never taken drugs, and I have a master's degree from UCLA. So, and I had a fabulous family who loved me and didn't steal all my money like they had done to so many of these kids. This is my stars. Where are they now? And I would say 80% of these wonderful little talented children that were in TV shows or whatever, and we're listening to Britney Spears now and that whole awful thing, Mullah Diglish or whatever it's called. But the parents don't know, I think. First of all, it's tough enough to raise a child. Then you're raising a child. The child's making more money than you are. And then what do you do with all this fame? You haven't seen it. And so there really should be a course in how to be the mother of a star, like Child Stars 101 or whatever.
Yeah, I think I know.
Is there really an evil thread that runs through Hollywood, though? People used to say, well, Hollywood's evil for the kid. It's bad. It's not good. It's not healthy. Of course, being famous at a young age is a heavy price to pay for the future of anyone if it doesn't continue. Like
Kathy, she started at 3.
Yeah.
She started at 3.
Yeah. So she didn't know anything else.
She's level-headed.
No, but she's lucky. She's had a good family, good support. Yeah. Level-headed.
I figured out that we have we have something in common, Kathy.
What is that, Walt?
You were in the 10 Commandments, and I've broken 6 of them.
Well, I think I've broken 9 at least. Well, that's what I'm saying. This common thread that goes through people. They recognize it's 6 o'clock.
It's
9 o'clock.
It's 9 o'clock here.
Yeah, we started late.
We started a few minutes late. That's why. But we like to know where we like to get information where people could see you as well, because we have here. Let's see. I see all the books and stuff that you just showed. This is really great. People could find that at
kathygarver.com, KATHYGARVER.com, where they will also find my candles, Cissy candles, and I don't have my Firestar candles, but I have Firestar candles and photos, and they can also go for my books to Amazon.com books.com. Amazon carries them all. My new
She has
books, I'll
stock
be
in
doing
there.
book signings across the nation. And I'm doing an exhibit at the Hollywood Museum of Family Affair Memorabilia. And I'll be doing a book signing of the Family Affair scrapbook. But I'll have my TV dinners books. So, and they can follow where I'll be on all these places on Facebook or on my website on Facebook, kathygarver.com. And I'm also on IG at Kathy _@ Cissy. So
And
You
it's
keep
great.
talking the way you keep talking, you're going to be thrown off of all of those.
I really try and temper myself though. When something bubbles up and I'm saying,
Kathy, I'm already been banned for 30 days. The next
Oh,
one,
no.
I don't even know what the next step is. Could be
you're
polite.
back on in 30 days.
That's a pretty heavy
I have
price to
3
pay for a
profiles
shirt.
already.
The
I have,
what?
I have 3 profiles already that I have to go to every time I get banned on one of them.
Oh,
It's
I'm
okay.
How it is.
Will.
we
It's
should
okay,
have
Will.
free speech. You know, I don't believe in ever, and I never do, shaming a person or shaming a thing. I mean, I would rather talk about ideas, and I think my ideas are very valid from where I stand. But I would never like swear at somebody or yell at them or that type of thing. But I think healthy dialogue certainly is important, and healthy discussions should be allowed no matter what the topic is.
Correct.
That's what
Absolutely.
I believe.
Correct.
I like this lady. And by the way, she doesn't have anything in common with you, Walt. Apparently not, because
Nothing.
you go yell, scream,
Except
and
almost
curse
a
at
shirt.
people.
Almost a shirt.
Just across the shirt. Kathy, you are a delightful person. You have a great
Yes. energy.
You're a beautiful lady, and I really appreciate coming on here. And again, once again, people would like to get in touch with Kathy. Please go to facebook.com/Kathy Garver fan page. And if you want to get to all of her stuff, you can get to kathygarver.com, where that'll lead you to her books and what's coming on in her life, what's upcoming, and what she's done, and where she's going, and what she's going to do next. And
all the people in England that are watching, and you don't know who Kathy Garver is because you only had 2 channels when you were a kid. Now you know.
Now you know.
I went to RADA. I went to the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art. So there's my tie with UK. And you guys are just so much fun. You know,
thanks, Kathy. Kathy,
Thank
you elicit a wonderful energy that.
Just before we leave, just please say, just tell other people, go to, if you like what we see, go to slash the little button there, smash the Facebook page, and smash the button on YouTube, and tell them Walt and John are here. A cool crap you love.
Cool crap we love, and send me that link, and I'll disseminate it.
You are the best. Stay well, stay healthy, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Kathy.
Thank you. Thank you.
A lot of fun.
Have a wonderful
All right,
week.
Kathy Garver. Thanks,
We're
Kathy.
out of here. She's a wonderful, wonderful lady. I really enjoy that. Thanks so much, Kathy. Take care.
Thank you.
Once again, there you go. Find her right there and find her right there. We'll see you guys next week on Cool Crap We Love. She was wonderful.
Yes.
And
Thanks, guys. Smash that button.